Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do it today is that we're going to do an authenticate and use JWT in Go and GraphQL. So the first thing we do need to secure your user password. And by default, we only store a plain text of the user password. That isn't security. So that is the why today we are going to implement the much more better for user passwords. And then we can implement the login with JWT with JSON Web Token. Okay, so let's get started. Remember in the last tutorial, we did also create a user. Now I'm going to run the server in a local development. So let's review what we have done before. Okay, and another one, I want to open up my QL workbench on my local. I'm going to connect to my local SQL, MySQL. And this is tutorial database we are working on, and we create a table. In the last video, we do store every user info, and now we can go get all list of user in our database, and we can even create new user. Okay, so problem is we store the password in the plain text. This isn't security, and so now let's implement it much better. The first thing I'm going to clear the table, and I need to truncate my table. Okay, so now we'll refresh again query, and no more user in the table. Okay, so let's get back to my document. I'm going to publish it as soon after this video record commits. We are going to use the script the package, so I'm going to import it. Just copy it, and we can open new tab on my Golang IDE, and you can simply go get to download this package. Okay, so we need to create a new function for login. So the login actually it's going to modify a user and create a new token callback uh, to our client. So I need to define a new login function in the mutation. I'm going to login. Login will take two parameters. That's the first parameter, email. It should be a string and should be not empty. And the second parameter is a password. Should be string everywhere. And to return, I'm going to decide to return a new custom type. For example type, it to be a token. And the token, we have a token should be a string. It should be JSON Web Token string. And I try s. It should be a time. It should be a integer because it's a unit time. Okay, so this can be it can be enough. And if you want to take another parameter equal callback is a user, and we can do user. But I think we can do it in next couple minutes later. And now keep it simple as possible. Now we can return what we are going to return is return a token and not empty. Okay, so after change schema, I'm going to run. We have a zen.add. We are going to run zen.add. Okay, so it's done. So let's take a look at our resolver. Now we are going to missing. If you take a look at the resolver.go and .new, we do have a login mutation. You can copy that, and use it into path into it, and we have no more errors. But if you are using Golang, very important and useful, you can hover on this and then implement missing methods, and the Golang will automatically add new implement method. Very useful. Okay, so now I'm going to return a sample a token. Return first. I'm going to token can be an object. It to be a token. So you know the token is the model. It automatically generate in model Zen. So now you can see right here we have a token. This is generated in model Zen. And remember, do not modify anything in this generate file. So token, we have a token string, for example ABC, and okay, so and I try add, for example, time dot now dot ask. For example, if you want to try in 1 hour equal time dot hour dot score dot unit. Okay, so let's see. It should be a try. It should be integer, but it should be now we need to convert it into integer equal, and then we can we need to convert it to in because it's in 64, and now we're going to return object, and now it's without any error. Now I'm going to refresh it, swap and restart, restart again. Okay, let's see. Read DigitalOcean in this block. Okay, so something is read DigitalOcean. Right, query resolver. I'm going to take a look at zen.set. Something is problem. Resolver.go. So we have a duplicate query resolver right here, and it should query resolver mutation. Okay, so the problem is it why is duplicate resolver.go resolver2.go. Now I'm going to delete this file, and we don't need that file. Again, I'm going to start again and run .sh, and we also need to refresh this. And now we can go ahead to write a new function, a new mutation in client, mutation login, and logs in. The first parameter email, for example, anything. And passwords, admin. And we return a token and return express. Okay, now I'm going to submit this. Now you should see a login with token ABC, and this is the timestamp and when a token express. That is how we can make a new login function, but we need to implement this work with database. So let's take a look at the database. Now it's empty. Okay, so it's empty, and now I'm going to create a user and take a look at the input.password. We need to encode this password, and I'm going to create a new file. This is the passwords.go, and I'm going to take a look at my post, and we have a two. Now I'm going to import this library. Okay, now we see for that, and then I'm going to copy two functions and going to explain it. So the first function, we are going to encode the password. This is all with the first only one parameter is the user password. So it's a plain text password. For example, it's admin, but we are going to encode that, and then we can save the password. And the second function is it's a compare passwords, and I will explain this later. Now, for now, we need to call to the hash password, and then this password we're going to, and let's see, take two parameter, take one parameter, but we have a two type of return in this function. So now I'm going to user hash password and errors equal hash password, and going to take original password. This is input the password, and now I'm going to check if error is not nil, and then we're going to return nil and error, and otherwise we take the password, and we are going to save that into our database. Now error already defined, we are not going to not need semicolon, right? And I'm going to stop and restart my local server, and we can go ahead to create a new password is admin. I'm going to create a user. Okay, so now let's take a look in our database, and going to hit again. Now you should see a new password in our table. It's the encode. This is much better, and so we do have a encode password. But how we can log in? We change this password. Okay, so now I'm going to enter this table, and I'm going to make sure we have an email is a unit, and this email is unit and MySQL is automatically index it field. So now let's take a look at the login. So what's about login? The login. So it should be email and we can password. Now we can't decode the password, but we can do like this. Now we are going to find a user by email if exists, and then we can compare the password with the new function, compare the password and the hash password from database, and if correct, and we return the user without custom token. Okay, now for example, I'm going to in user file, I'm going to create a new function find user by email, and the parameter it can be email, should be a string, and a return, I'm going to return a user should be a pointer, and error. Now we are going to find only one user. Now I'm going to do we have a db dot query row. When we are going to fetch one row in MySQL, we are going to use a query row, not query row. Query row is meaning we return only single column, single row, and we don't have to defer row dot cloud anymore, code anymore. So for now, query row select. Now we need to select first name, last name, email, password. First name, last name, email, password. Created at and update at. Where email equal, and now in argument we are going to pass email. So we do have a row equal, and now we var u is a kind of user data. Now I'm going to let errors equal row dot scan. The first parameter is the first name, second is the last name, and third is email, and so on. Now first equals u dot first name, and second u dot last name. Third equal u dot email and u dot password. And u dot created at, and u dot update at, and u dot. Okay, it's finished. Let's check if errors not nil. We are going to return nil and error. And otherwise we return a user and nil. Because we are going to return a pointer, but we initialize a user with object, so we need to give ans before this. Okay, so now I'm going to find user by email, and where we are going to take a user, we can do like this: user errors equal user by email, and we're going to take email string right here, and we can check it if error equal not nil, and then return nil with error or simple, we can fallback arrow dot new user not file. Okay, so last something like that. And if user right, so if user is not new or user equal nil. Okay, now and then we need to user to compare the password. Compare the password. The password should be original password and hash password. Now I'm going to compare this by if not compares passwords, the password should be a password from input. I'm sorry, password. And second parameter should be a user.password. Is a hash password. If not, and this means we return nil and arrow dot new passwords do not correct. Okay, so something like that. And otherwise, we can create a new token, and we can do it. And now we make a test. Run again. Now let's see. I'm going to log in and admin. Now I can log in user not file. Okay. Go on. Admin. Let's verify if we do something wrong. And file user by email. Query first name at, oh my gosh, from user. Now refresh again. Login. Okay, so it fallback correct. It means we do submit a correct user email and password. Now I'm going to change the password to wrong password. And now you should see passwords do not correct. And if I change this back and we can change to email, it's not correct. So we can see user not file. And now, okay, so this is how the login works. But now we do need to create a new token and fall back to user. So let's get back to my post. So we do have a create a new token. I'm going to user list library, and I'm going to create a new file, JWT file, and JWT.go, and I'm going to copy this whole thing. Okay, so we need to go into fix something, and we may import it. Import, and we need to stop and go get. Okay, so now one more thing, we do need to use clam. User clam isn't defined. So let's scroll down the bottom a bit. We have a middleware and user clam. I define in the middleware. Now let's go to JWT meet. Let's go, and I'm copy that. I'm going to check. I'm not going to check the user token blacklist anymore. Just make it more simple. Okay, so we got a user clam right here. It's actually a custom struct with the user ID, and the default of JWT. And so let's get back to JWT, and now everything is correct. So let's take a look at JWT is a custom function. We create a new JSON web token and we assign a user ID who is logged in at that time. So for DHP is just any key you can do. You can use anything, but in my project, in my tutorial, I'm using DHP. Okay, and the my singing key dhp.io, you can use another token key, keep its security. Okay, and this means in our resolver, now let's going to create a new token. Let's take a look at token. JWT, it only need 2 parameters and return a string. Okay, so it's so now we can create a let's take a look at JWT create. Okay, so first parameter, it should be a user user.id, but you know user ID in our struct is the integer, but JWT is in 64. So we can simply we can change this. We can convert it into int 64, and the second parameter, it should be appropriate. Okay, so that's good enough. And now I'm going to run again. Choose. I'm sorry. Now it should be a run.s. Okay, so now let's log in one more time again. Now we should see a token key, and we now in our client we can use this key and submit to server, and server can decode this token is a belong to any user, to a user who just log in. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and let's take a look at in our let's just server side. We are going to implement with blockchain. Implement it with Authenticate. Okay, so let's see. We have a middleware.go. This middleware.go. Now I'm going to take a look at the document from GraphQL January. Alright, GraphQL Zen. And we going to take a document and see at authentication and the middleware function, and here, and take a look at server side router.user middleware. Okay, so we are going to go use the Go to and copy that, and now let's see in our server side we need to modify a bit by we need to go to, and we solve first go get. Okay, so it's ready. Now go into import that, and in the router we do have a new, we need a new router. And let's take a look at router.handle. Okay, so and now this HTTP handle, we are not going to use the HTTP handle anymore. We have router.handle. Okay, so one more time, we change the router handle. It's the same thing. And let's see http.listen and server. Okay, so it's correct. And now let's take a look at router.use our remote middleware. Now I'm going to router.user. We are going to use the middleware in our middleware file. Let's middleware. Okay, so it looks correct. Now go to run it to verify if everything is correct. Okay, cool. So this means work, and now I'm going to get back to middleware and I plan something. So we are going to authenticate every request from a client. So let's get back to my port. So how we can port a new token? We can copy that into our client, and let's take a look at HTTP header. Now I parted that. So we're going to keep beer. Sorry, now we change this. We can change this and copy our token from here, and we can copy here. And now we can log in. Okay, something. JSON pass. Okay, something. User. Now let's see, check our reports. It's not found. Oh, query is not found. This means server. Okay, now let's see. It's not found. So is it meaning something is wrong in our server? Server router.handle middleware and new resolvable. And GraphQL. And let's play around. And .GraphQL. Okay, something is so it's correct. But http.listen. Oh my god, listen and router. Okay, so now run again. Okay, so now it's correct. And remember this, we have authorization, and every request we now be logged in, we have it logged by middleware. So middleware, that's the first thing, it will check get header from request. It's going to check for the authorization and split the beer. We are split beer, and we are going to take a token. And if a request is not token, and so now I'm going to take from here print log.print, so debug request token. Now we should have a token right here, and now I'm going to start again. I'm going to make a request get user. Now you can see debug with request. We got token. Something you request continue because with we are using client is automatically refresh every time. And for now, if I'm going to remove this authorization and going to again, so debug request, we don't have any token anymore. That means we can understand, oh, this request is from a non-user. So someone who hasn't logged in and send a request to server. If we have an authorization, and this means we have a token. Now let's see. You should see user. So we got a token. Let's go back. And actually, we can understand. We can get the user ID from the token. So for now, I'm going to take, for example, in this resolver, we have a resolver list of all users. So now I'm going to take a look at user all error equal user all gets all user from the contact. Get all user from contact is the function in our middleware. Gets all user from the contact. And this all we have a user authenticate log. We don't use it anymore. With all we have a user ID. It can be an in64, but I think we can change back to in this project we are going to use the in. Okay, and user ID user ID needs to be in. Okay, so everything look good. So this means we can get user out from contact. We're going to pass cth right here. Let's see user out, and we can change it if user out dot user ID is less than 0. We can see this means login request. This is the request has login. And otherwise we can deny anything. For example, so if user equal 0, now I'm going to return no and with error dot new access deny. Now let's stop server and going to run it again. Okay, so JWT, now it should be an in 64. So we're not going to change and modify it in the login anymore. We don't have to convert this into 64 anymore. Okay, so now let's run again. And now going to get user accept deny. Because so what happened? Actually, it already logged in. Now I'm going to log in again and copy that. And going to delete user again. Oh my god, what happened? Let's see. If user ID if all from the context. Now I'm going to print line user all dot id user id. Now I'm going to run it and debug and see what happened. So user id equals 0. Okay. I see. I know why. Because when we find user by email, we forgot select an ID, and we should be user.id friend. Okay, so now we need to log in again, and I'm going to copy that token again one more time. Okay, so now we can get user. Okay, so let's take a look at user 1. And now I'm going to create a new user by Tom and where Tom and password admin again. It's the same thing. Create user. The user ID equal 2. And now I'm going trying to log in with the user Tom and password admin. Okay, this login, and I'm going to copy this token and I'm changing to the header. And now I'm going to getting user, and this is user ID 2. Okay, so this is how we can use the JWT JSON Web Token in Go and GraphQL and implement user password. Actually, this is working on the GraphQL client. It works, and you can use any other client to test it. In the next tutorial, we can start making React client to request to our service GraphQL. Okay, thank you for watching and bye for now. See you again. Bye.